want you to tell us about your early life. Start with when they forced you out of your homes.
Oh, okay.
And who forced you out of your homes? You were living, where were you living first?
Yeah.
And who were you living with? Your parents and so forth?
Yeah. Well,
The drapes? You don't want them on?
of course, this all happened in 1915.
You were born in 1909. You were 6
yeah.
years old.
That's right. And from a parent, from Armenian Christian parent, were Armenian nation, let's say, were living in Turkey.
Okay. Your mother, your father, your older sister. You had an older sister.
Parents, uncles and aunts, and I had two uncles.
All their names and stuff?
Like one?
You remember all their names?
Oh yeah. We had Uncle Hagop. First they take him to Turkish soldier. He was gone in a Turkish soldier. We never seen for a long time. And then my Uncle Takbor, second Uncle Takbor, he was in boarding school. His parents had passed away. My parents put him to boarding school. They paid for it.
How was he related?
My mother's brother.
Mother's brother, Takbor.
Yeah, two of them, yeah. And then I had a grandma. She died during the massacre. And then we had the aunts and uncles, cousins, all. So anyway,
let me back up a minute. Your parents got married, and they were living where? When did they get married? 1800s?
oh, well, let's see. What would be mother?
How old was Horkor when they got when?
They were married about 1900.
All right, they were married about 1900. Mark Horkor was born in 1904.
Yeah, she's
5.
2 years older than I am. Yeah.
4 years. Okay, 1904, 5.
Yeah, okay. And then
What did your dad do for a living?
he was a restaurateur. He had a big restaurant. The people working for him. It was a very famous place. So anyway, we're living happily, and then of course there was always a little friction between the Christian Armenians and Muslim Turks, because they were Muslims, were Christians, but somehow we got along all these years, but there was always friction between our Christians and Muslims, because different religion.
What part of Armenia did you live in?
We're 50 miles from Istanbul, Adapazarri, town of Adapazarri.
Okay.
So one fine day, we heard that Turks don't like the Armenians living in their country. They have to get out. So they ordered us to take your belongings. It's like going camping.
Why are they saying their country? Wasn't this Armenia?
No, this was Turkish land we're living on. Years ago, centuries ago, our real land is near Mount Ararat border, and
You can go over with them if you want.
and Yerevan in Russia. That was the part of Armenia, but we lost that. Turks took the part of it. Russians took the half of it. But today, we have a state in Russia, in Yerevan, city of Yerevan. That's Armenian capital now, and that was given to us under Russia.
Okay, so when your parents were living there, Armenia wasn't a free state. It was.
No,
it was
we're all taken away from us.
All right, half of it was taken by Turkey,
Turks and half in Russia.
and half in Russia.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the Armenians fought for Russian side, so they gave them back the state of Yerevan to Armenia under Russian rule, control. It's like they got Poland, Hungary, the Yugoslavia, all under, he had so many satellites Russia has.
So we're only talking a 100-mile area between Yerevan and Istanbul and Adapazarri.
Yeah, about that. So anyway, so they give us order to everybody have to move out. We don't know where, but they said we're going to take you some destination, like say from here to Lansing, and we're going to decide what we're going to do with you people. So my parents poor people. They packed up everything, little clothing, a couple of blankets, and little valuables, jewelry, or pictures, citizenship, birth paper, things like that.
Whatever they could carry with them.
Whatever carry with us. They said, don't carry nothing, you're just going to be on your own. So they took us to the station, they put us all in freight wagons. Piled us up in
A train or more of a horse-drawn wagon?
No, train, real train.
Okay.
We had the real trains at that time, yeah. The Turks had a good train. And then they put it all in there, and for, I don't know, day or two or whatever it was, we arrived some town, Eskişehir they call it. That's in Turkey too. And but it was a border to Iraq. There was a border line. So they all dumped us in there for a couple of days, and they decide so many thousand they picked, we're going to take them out. So we were one of the groups. Our grandma was alive at that time. She went with another group. What happened with her in-laws or whatever it was. She went and she was lost in a short time. So my parents and a sister and I, four of us, we got in this group here. And then next thing you know, we're in a desert. They said, okay, everybody, whatever you want to do, you can hire wagons, horse, camels, whatever you want. We're going to go out through desert. We had nothing to say. Whatever they said, that was it. So we had little belongings, blankets, things like that. We put our load in the wagon. We paid for it, and we drove on for a couple of days in the desert. And then Dad took sick. Was worried, I guess. He was concerned, poor guy. So we put him on the wagon too. We paid extra. Only thing we can have, Mother had all the valuables in her money belt. Gold, some Turkish gold, and some silver, not dollars, Mecidiye they call Turkish money. So as we go on, every now and then, whenever we camp at night, there were Arabs coming, bringing food to sell. They know there's a bunch of people walking there, they need the food. So we would buy bread and some meat and the yogurt from them. And then this goes on and on every day this went on for 3 days. And every now and then they would come and try to rob us, nighttime or even daytime. And then later on they started asking about, they see young woman or young girl, they want to adopt them, like. So every now and then they would come and ask for my sister, and Mother was well at that time. She said, no, I'm not giving my girl away. But our food was getting scarce, our money was running out, and we're getting tired, and our legs were getting swollen, and this and that. So, but we see every now and then they take somebody away. Some mother would give the child away because baby's crying, no milk, under the sun, hot, and people just want to sit down and rest for a while, and then the rest of us keep on walking. So whoever left behind, they were left there overnight, and that's how we lost 1.5 million Armenians. It was in a record.
They'd give their children away so that they would have a better life.
Better life, right,
okay. Yeah. And not have to go through the trauma that they were going
through. Because that sun was getting hot every day, walking, no transportation.
Let's backtrack a little bit. When you were still living at home, did they assassinate all the intelligent Armenians?
Oh yeah, that they did. First of all, before they even think of moving out, they gather all the intelligent people. They collect the army age.
First they took all the army age men
and
sent them into the army.
And then they said, we want all the leaders, we're going to have a conference.
And they got the mayors and the doctors and the lawyers, the priests.
This friend of ours, father was taken away.
Karsam.
Uncle Kersam's father was taken away, and they never came back no more. They said they're going to take him for a meeting, and because we were so concerned about ourselves, what we're going through, hungry and under the sun, walking every day.
Basically what they did was they split up the Armenians so that they had no strength.
That's right. We had way back, before the massacre started, they came around, Turkish government, that anybody has a gun, sword, they gotta surrender in. You know,
First they disarmed them.
disarm. They say anybody has a gun or sword, be punished. So they were so scared.
Then they took the soldiers or the soldier age men away, and then they took the
Intelligent people.
Men.
So,
So basically, they were in a plan to divide and conquer, like we've always heard.
Yeah.